Right, what is up everybody? It is me, DevilNeverCry, and we are back with an interesting video for today. As always though, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with anything and everything DMC, and of course make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're updated on every time I drop some content. Getting back to the topic of today's video though, DMC, or Devil May Cry, on the Nintendo Wii, a prototype, a proof of concept, I don't know what this is. A while back actually I came across this video by Redfly Studios, who I believe specialize in Wii games, and I think they're based somewhere out in Texas, USA. I came across this video a while back, didn't really think much of it, I was just like, I should make a video on this. Completely slipped my mind. Lo and behold, I come across it again, and I absolutely have to share this with you because the majority of people who I show this to are just like, what the hell is this? I've never heard of it, I've never seen it. So let's kind of dive straight into what exactly this is and talk about it. So as usual, we've got the good old display capture here so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing in real time. I want to go take a look at this trailer, or this proof of concept video. It's interesting to say the least. Loading, of course. And we've got some sort of random ass cathedral, never been seen in the DMC games. Kind of similar to Fortuna Castle here. You've got the pews and stuff. Oh look, it's DMC4 Dante in a very low poly-esque version of himself. And marionettes pop in. That dude's got a shotgun, bane of my existence. Strange, very strange mishmash. And Dante taunt, I mean that was a DMC1 clip of him saying let's rock. Which, yeah, this is just a weird mishmash. DMC4 HUD here, DMC4 lock-on, DMC4 animations? I mean, the animations are strange. I mean, they're obviously DMC-esque, but they're obviously changed. The properties are different. Absolutely no attack latency there. Looks like you can cancel the animation. Or there's no sort of, what would you call them, transition frames. These things do attack. More DMC4 HUD. The guns sound weird. The slashes sound weird. It's a strange thing. I mean, this is a proof of concept video, I believe, which was made in a couple of weeks. If you go take a look at the actual video, which of course will be linked in the description below. Apologies about the quality, by the way. This is the best I could find. But it's interesting to think that, you know, oh, you got some air combos here. It's interesting to think that, you know, DMC for the Wii. You know, I don't know how it would have worked with the controls and stuff, but I guess the lock-on there doesn't act as a health bar for the enemies, which is interesting. Destructible environments though are cool. Good old red orbs. But yeah, star system doesn't really work all that well. It seems. I mean, he's repeating the same attacks, and they just continuously keeps going up despite repetition. Enemies just spawning randomly. Again, this is obviously very unpolished because it's just supposed to be a what if, sort of like a pitch, I guess you could say, like, hey, we made it work like this in a couple weeks. Think about what we could do in a couple years, sort of thing. But yeah, the majority of people I've shown this to are just absolutely gobsmacked because they've never seen this. Could you imagine a Devil May Cry on the Wii? Who knows what would have happened to DMC5 or Reboot or God knows what. But that's, you know, that encounter, it looks like. And of course you've got the old cobwebs there which seem to disappear, seem to lock you in. No idea what this background music is because it's definitely not Devil May Cry, I'll say that much. Camera angles are interesting. I guess there's no sort of fixed camera angles. Which, I don't know, more DMC4-esque, I'd imagine. Interesting transition. No idea where we are again here. It looks like a mishmash of Fortuna and Malay Island. No idea about the premise of what this can actually be. It's very hard to find any information on this exactly. But I think the company, or the studio that made this is still out and about making games. Last I saw they were making mobile games. I think they ended up making the Wii port of Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, I believe. Look at these enemies, absolutely no reaction whatsoever. Then they disappear like enemies from DMC4 in a green splatter. I mean, it's cool seeing all these just elements from all the different games just smashed together. You know, you've got DMC1 enemies, DMC4 Dante. You know, yeah, so there's not really much else, is there? You've got DMC2-esque quality, shall we say. You know, they hit 3 out of the 4, which is interesting to say the least. That gun noise is kind of just, wouldn't say aggravating, irritating, knowing that's not how everybody in Irish should be sounding like. But yeah, I think they would have got the atmosphere kind of nailed down though. The red light leaking in through the stained glass windows. I guess you could say very atmospheric for what it is. Music obviously isn't, considering it doesn't really fit all that well, but yeah, I think with some more polish, I think this could have been an interesting project. I don't know when this was meant to be. This is obviously meant to be after DMC4 release, considering they're using DMC4 assets. So what, 2010, 2009 maybe? Which, yeah, the Wii was still out and about, kicking and alive at that point. And that seems to be it. It's been a while since I've actually seen this all the way through. So you got the red orb of doom there, 87 red orbs. Wonder what this orb economy would have been like. But what do you guys think about that DMC prototype? Would you have been interested in seeing a Devil May Cry on the Wii? Have you ever actually seen this before? I think it's a commendable effort by the company, and obviously it's a pitch, so I'd imagine, you know, they probably tried to make it as accurate as possible. Otherwise Capcom would have just been like, hell no son, nothing about this seems right, which, who knows if this was even pitched to Capcom or Nintendo in the end. Again, as I said, it's hard to find information on this. It's pretty scarce, so to speak. But that's not actually the only game or DMC game that was meant to be but never was. Some of you may or may not remember the rumors floating around about a PSP version of Devil May Cry, which I believe was actually confirmed to be a thing at one point. But things essentially fell through, and Devil May Cry on the PSP, Jesus, almost butchered PSP. Devil May Cry on the PlayStation Portable didn't end up being a thing. A lot of rumors floating around back in the day on GameFAQs and stuff about it being a prequel based on Sparta, which, you know, if you look at any DMC community post, whether it's forums or Twitter or whatever, people absolutely are hungry for a Sparta prequel, which I myself will never understand, considering the whole attraction in regards to Sparta is the mystique and mystery about him being a legend and his legacy. I think people do want a game about Sparta, but then kind of forget that Sparta did some necessary evils for the greater good, like sacrificing a human woman to seal away the tower. Nobody wants to see that at the end of a Sparta game. You know, you fight against Mundus, who's meant to be this evil dictator or whatever, you know, hell-bent on destroying the human world and stuff. And then you rise up for the greater good, and you defeat him, you fall in love with a human, and then, oh yeah, we gotta seal this real quick. You there, random lady in the crowd, you shall be the person I sacrifice to seal everything away, you know? Kind of destroys the whole idea of being somewhat of a protagonist, you know? Or heck, even if they decide to skip over Sparta randomly picking people to die for him, they're certainly not going to be touching upon the whole, hey, Mundus is going to be after my family, I'm a head out sort of deal, where he leaves his family home to be burned down and his family to be butchered under the guise of him going out for a pack of cigarettes. Or maybe he dies of old age at that point, but you know, the point still stands. I don't think people want to be playing, you know, a 12-15 hour campaign only for it to end on a sour note like that. Imagine newcomers to the series playing that, and then by the end of it they probably hate Sparta's guts. But then again, I think the majority of people know how, well, actually saying that, we know nothing about Sparta, do we, in the end, where he went or what he did. But that is me obviously waffling on about Sparta. getting back to the topic of the video, again, what do you guys think about this? You know, do you want to see some Devil May Cry spin-offs? Would you want a Devil May Cry game exclusive to the Switch? I know a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy that I mentioned that, considering the whole DMC Switch debacle that is currently going on. But I will leave the video off there, people. So with all of that said and done, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next video.